Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. Now, for today, what can I say, right? We're starting up the week, starting up an epic day with an epic, super badass person. She's been in the show multiple times. Incredible, amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only Jessica. Jessica, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic already. We haven't even started yet, and I can already tell that this is already an epic, badass day.
Energy is good. I'm here. The energy is good.
There you go. What else can I expect, right? What else can I ask? You know what I mean? So, love it. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also in the description below, I'm gonna leave all of Jessica's social media. Let's follow her. If you haven't find out why she's super badass, well, on the description also, I'm gonna leave all of the episodes she's been, so you can be like, I get it now. I get it now why she's super badass. And yeah. Now, without further more, let's just begin here. So I want to start this whole, today is, as I said before, we already know how incredible and super you are. You've been multiple times. So let's just start super easy going here and there, which is what you've been up to over the past few months.
Well, it's sort of a bit of a tragic news. I lost my agent, which is kind of the first time in my career that this has happened,
Mm.
where and I do have like multiple reps. So this is my rep in Quebec. And he sadly passed away. He was like 49. He was just turning 50, so he was really young. So it's a little bit of a tragic start to the year. Um, but I sort of gave it a little bit of time, and now I'm looking for new representation. I have a meeting this afternoon. So, I did not expect this to happen this year, to lose, one of my main reps, but, life. And sometimes, it takes a left turn and you have to like roll with the punches. So, I'm just trying to stay very positive throughout, but for sure that, it was really sad, the news. And then also just like figuring out when was the right time to go hunting for a new person because
Mm.
it just felt weird.
Yeah.
So that's that. And ironically, the last audition he submitted me to was for a commercial, like a big commercial for the Summer Olympics.
Okay.
Um, and I booked it, and he doesn't even know. And I just want to be, I booked it, like that last thing you sent me on, we got it, So, that was a really positive experience. It's really fun too because I was booked to play a French girl, like a
Okay.
French from France
Mm-hmm.
girl on a French Canadian commercial. I'm French Canadian. My parents are French. So it's like the French Canadian with French parents who got booked as a French girl on a French Canadian commercial. So it's just really funny. But I'm really excited. It's going to come out in a couple of weeks. And I expect it to be playing a lot
Mm-hmm.
during the Summer Olympics. It's one of those sponsored ads that like every time they cut to commercial. So I think it's going to be really fun visibility for me now that I'm back in Quebec. And so that's that. And then I think in August I have a short film that's coming out called Crocus that I shot last year. I play a young woman dying of cancer, which was a really fun and challenging role for me. I've never played someone dying
Mm.
or very, very sickly. So that was really interesting for me. So I haven't seen it yet. The director is being really like just hush hush, or he's just keeping the project to himself until like he gets where he wants it to be. So I respect that, but I'm so curious to see it. And then super exciting at the end of the summer, we're doing a 20th anniversary for this film I did in Quebec called La Peau Blanche. So that it was a horror movie. It won Best First Feature at TIFF that year. It was presented at the Museum of Modern Arts in New York as part of the Canadian Front Films. So that was like one of my first major role in a feature film. With a theatrical release. And so it's really fun. We're doing a 20-year anniversary, which is kind of crazy that it's already been 20 years. And so all the actors, we're doing like a screening at a theater here. So that should be fun. I'm excited.
There you go. A lot of
Have
yeah,
like, things that you've done so long ago come back and you get to see everyone again, which is so nice.
totally. And also basically you've had like a whole 360 thing going on here. You know what I mean? From something, yeah, that nobody expected, as you were mentioned, to start to book stuff, to be in a commercial now, and also, yeah, I mean, the Olympics are like what in the next couple of weeks, right? I mean,
And
if
in 2 3 weeks, something like that, at the end of
hmm
July. So yeah, I'm actually really, because commercials, they play on every small screen.
totally.
It's not like a film that somebody has to choose to go see. This is like literally like you have to see my face.
Hmm.
Whether you like it or not, you have to hear me and see me. So it's just going to be really good visibility. So I mean, I think that's really kind of cool because I think all work is valuable.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
people, like commercials, voice work, I'm big into voice work. I did a couple of really fun spots earlier in the summer uh for like Saint Germain, the alcohol. So that's cool. And yeah, so I mean, I think all work related to acting to me is exciting. So there's nothing beneath me or that I don't want to do. Um, I think it's all positive experiences.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, every because you get the chance to learn something new on those experiences that are coming, so which is great because at the same time they're helping you out for something else will come in the
I got
future. So I do think that is
yeah.
one of the cool things, right? That from every experience you get the chance to be in it, you learn new stuff, you know? So cool
I know,
stuff.
and it's often when you think you're not going to learn anything, and you're just like, "Ugh, I know this. I'm not gonna, that's when you're like, oh wait, that was so interesting, and wow, like this, I've never, and you just have to always be like open-minded, I think.
Yeah, totally. That is badass, just saying. And also, about the commercial for the Olympics, don't maybe I'm wrong, but I'm super sure that yeah, maybe. But
But
sometimes the commercials they will show up like the official commercials for the Olympics. Sometimes they will be switching them like between basically worldwide.
I mean, maybe
Maybe. I
I
mean, I'm not sure.
don't
Maybe I'm
know. I
mistaken,
don't
but
know.
you know what? But for example, when it was the Winter Olympics, I was watching them, and every now and then I was having commercials from other parts of the world. So
Really?
which it was interesting. But maybe that happens if you have cable. Maybe, not sure, you know, but who knows? I mean, I mean, either way, it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, I think it's like it's literally, a lot of people watch the Olympics either way. And
mhm.
so every time it cuts to a commercial, to know that I'm gonna be able to be seen performing. So it's really fun.
That's
And then
bad.
I play like a French girl, so you know me. So I French is my first language. My parents are French, so I have like this sort of international, a little bit of I can work on it, Parisian accent. I
Hmm.
have my French Canadian accent, and then I have like the English, the Canadian English, and then I'm like working on my American English, so we don't hear any. It's like, it's like a lot of
Hmm.
accents,
A lot of things
but
going on here. Yeah,
a lot of things going on, but amazing tools for being a performer. Like just
totally.
to different languages, accents. I mean, that's how I got my voice demo, my voice agent in LA.
Yeah, and a lot of actors have told me that if you get the chance to learn new languages, they do help a lot, especially for commercials or stuff like that. If you're able to perform in different languages, it opens the
Yeah.
possibility to a lot of new stuff. So,
It's like, for example, if you're a Latina and let's say you didn't grow up learning Spanish and you're in the States, yes, you bet that learning Spanish for you is going to be such an asset,
Hmm.
because people are just going to expect you to be able to do it. There's going to be some times where they're going to ask you to like say a couple of lines in the script in Spanish. So, I mean, I think what's important is to do things that excite you and that you love
Totally.
first and foremost. But yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Accents, languages. I mean, I don't know if we've talked about this, but I feel like being an actor is essentially you're training yourself to be like a spy. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Where
Good
like
point.
I have to be like as neutral of a mask, but then be able to put on like this like chic Parisian girl or this like sloppy French Canadian girl. You know what I mean? You have to be able to play. You have
Hmm.
to be able to have skills like firearms, horseback riding, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trapeze.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
play tennis. And then I speak like multiple languages and I could do multiple accents. I'm like, essentially, I'm a spy. Essentially, I'm training to be a spy. I feel like at some point somebody's gonna call me and be like, okay, so you've got everything we need for you to be a spy. Like, come join the agency.
Who knows?
Be
Maybe
like, yeah,
the next.
like, hey, like, oh, this little girl, she's no problem. you know,
Maybe the
she's
next.
weapons.
Totally. I mean, who knows? Maybe next up is becoming a spy. Why not?
She disappeared. Where did she go? I'm now part of MI6.
There you go. I love it. And and now and now that we're talking about about like the multiple things you need to yeah that yeah like the multiple things
Like
you need
hobbies and activities that
like all of
are,
that.
yeah, that actually help um your resume. And like it just when it like let's say for a role we're looking for a young girl 25 to 35. She needs to be able to horseback, like to be comfortable on a horse. And so if you have that on your resume, like the casting director will pick you ahead of it of somebody else. So
Totally.
that's why any skill that you have, weapons, firearms, horseback riding, playing soccer, like it does, you could be tennis, like any sort of singing, playing musical instruments. Oh, we really need a really good actress that's a badass guitarist. Like this is like we're looking for a band or a singer or any skill that you have, hone, because it will help your acting career.
Yeah, absolutely, which is cool because you get the chance to as we were saying before, you get the chance to learn new things, and that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That's live basically.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
interesting. My hobbies are I love tango. I think so.
Mm.
I danced tango like a decade ago for a couple of years, and then I stopped, and then I started again. And I mean, it's such a beautiful dance. To me, it's so much like acting. Um, because in tango, it's all improv. Like you know the steps, like you know how to act, but then once you get on the dance floor or on stage, you don't know what's going to happen next. Is
Mm.
your is the leader going to take you right, left, front? You don't know. You have to like be in your body and you have to like listen with your body, and like feel impulses basically. And it's acting is the same thing. You're there, you're present, and you're just kind of like you know who you are, you know who your character is, and then it's like how the other person is going to deliver those lines to you will affect how you will deliver your lines to them.
Hmm.
you know? So you all really have to be like listening. So in tango you have to like kind of like listen to the body and, oh, I'm feeling an impulse this way or that way, and you just follow. So it's very beautiful. I think it's such a beautiful dance. I'm a huge fan of tennis. I play tennis.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then I got into a little bit like, you know, my my I geek out on martial art movies, you know that. So last year I found a martial art that I liked, ninjutsu. I don't practice it anymore because there's no dojo here that teaches ninjutsu, but whenever I'm back in LA, I'm definitely going to go back to the dojo I was at. And like, yeah, that's really cool. That's another thing that's like, I mean,
Hmm. Totally.
She's fun. Good.
Totally. And now that we're talking about like all of that, about like the skills you need to you need to learn and like and all of that. Tell me, like, how do you think the portrayal of characters has evolved over the years?
Well, for me or in general? I mean, I don't,
Let's go for you.
I mean, for me, my portrayal, so funny enough, I think the longer I've been acting, the more I'm trying to be myself, which sounds so strange. But I think what makes you sort of bookable, or how they like to say bankable, I think it's when you bring an essence of yourself in the character, because everybody gets the same sides. So everybody sort of does the same kind of script analysis, and they all kind of come up with, in general, the same sort of like thinking.
Hmm.
But you want to stand out. When a casting director sees the same scene over and over again from like 45 different actresses, the one that stands out, they're going to pay attention to. So you want to try to stand out without being um, within the bounds of the text and the scene and the script and all that. But so to do that is to bring a little bit of yourself. Like, okay, how would Jessica, you know? Okay, Jessica, you have you have a lot of energy. You're very bubbly. You're very smiley. Like, okay, let's bring that to the character. You know, like, yeah, maybe she's a cop, but maybe she's that cop. You know, she doesn't have to be the stereotypical. So I think that's what's interesting to me, is bringing more of myself into my auditions and into my work, which is, before it was kind of like, oh, no, 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 this is a character, she's completely different than me. Look, she's from the country, and she's never been in love, and she's this and uneducated or whatever, like she's so different than me. Okay, but no, it's like you have to find those commonalities, and it just makes, I think it just makes it more interesting too, more fun. But that's, I think, where I've seen an evolution, is to like bring my own personality, my own charm into these characters I'm auditioning for.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I'll
Hmm.
take it. I'll take it. Yeah, makes sense. I love it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, 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 it's really good. It's like, it's the reason why we love the Ryan Reynolds, the
Hmm.
Sandra Bullocks, the Nicolas Cage, the Keanu Reeves. They all, like, we know who these people are. Like, these people are who, like Ryan Reynolds, it's his charm that made him who he is. It's his like personality. It's that like quirky, witty, funny, bantery guy,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
and that's what made him a superstar. Because if he was just like another blonde actor, good looking guy, like, it's very, it was his flavor that made him a superstar. So that's what I'm realizing. It's your personality that makes that touches people.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. And would you say like what I'm trying to say here is like how has the whole audition process changed since you first started out?
Well, when I first started out, it was like in-person auditions all the time. It was in-person first round, in-person second round, in-person producer sessions. We would have a lot of rehearsals. Like, so much of the industry has changed, because now it's first audition on Zoom, or like self-tape, second callback on Zoom, producer sessions on Zoom, where you'll have the director and the producers and like on Zoom, and then also like no rehearsal time. There's just less time for rehearsal, so it's just like literally be super prepared and have your whole self tape set up, like mastered, because that's honestly also where the industry is going. Like, that's not changing. Nobody's going to all of a sudden open doors and rent offices and have 45 actors in a waiting room, and when they cannot,
Mhm.
when they found a way to not do that. And so I think self tapes are here to stay. I think Zoom callbacks and some producer sessions are done like that. So I think in terms of like advice, I think it's about having the best possible setup for your self tapes. And it's the same thing for your Zoom sessions. And, I think that eliminates a lot of, the stress and the prep and all that. Just get all the materials that you need. Like, funny enough, like this chair, this is like an adjustable chair. So for some auditions, you have to stand and sit, get an adjustable chair because or else the framing will be off. I also have a stand for my computer if I have like a callback session. So I'll put it on a tripod. I can it just kind of adjusts itself, but not for my camera, for my computer. So it's like a flat sort of adjustable tripod. So there's things that you'll just have to adapt and get, some new material, some new equipment, I guess, but get that done, practice, practice, practice. And, that's where the industry is
There you go.
heading. It's just like self tapes and Zoom sessions. My acting classes are on Zoom, which I love. My teacher's in Los Angeles. She's phenomenal. So it's just like it's so good to have acting classes on Zoom because you can see where you make your mistakes. And it's like now that everything is on Zoom, it's having a class on Zoom is actually good.
Yeah, totally. I mean, at the end, you think that that is like one of the cool things that are happening right now, that it saves time and money, and for everyone basically, and it's more comfortable. Plus, it's a lot of benefits going on here, and I think it's a great thing that they managed to put that into work, and make the work like a little more comfortable to it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there you go. And
I mean, I
uh,
miss, but I get crazy nerves. Like, and I think we all do. I think it's normal, but like, let's say I'll have like, I had a callback a month or so ago for a film and it was on Zoom and it was sort of a callback slash producer session. The director was there, the production house was there, the producer was there, and you're at home, you're comfortable, you're in your own, it's all good, but I mean, I still get nerves, and I have some relaxation techniques I do before I'm called in, but it's almost like, when you're in the waiting room at an audition, except now you're just at home. And I still try to do that same prep, but I mean, I still get nerves.
yeah, I
Probably.
mean, I think the only con, I mean, I think like part of the cons here would be either that have to deal with that, and also find like the perfect spot for you. You know what I mean? That the whole light benefits you and all of that. I mean, I think those who like put ourselves in front of the camera tends to be like a little bit of a yeah, it tends to be a little bit annoying until you find your sweet spot to be like, okay, this is a place in which I'm gonna do my thing here because it has the perfect lighting, all of that. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, while you were like discovering that, it can be a little bit annoying. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, "Ah." Like right now. So the funny part is right now we're in my kitchen,
There you go.
but the lighting in my kitchen is so pretty. So, what I would do for an audition, I would put my background in the
Mm,
back and you would never know where I'm at in my house.
there you go.
You know, you
Hmm.
would never know. So I think it's interesting. Yes, find the best spot in your apartment, in your house, get your setup, yeah, it's really important to like trial and error until you find your sweet spot, the perfect place. And yeah, there
Hmm.
you go.
I mean, on your case, auditioning and have breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
There you
like
go.
self-tape coffee.
You got everything at once. I love it. I love it.
Doing this. It's an activity, it's a task. It's
You
good.
learn. Yeah. And do you feel that actors now have more creative freedom in choosing and shaping their roles as back when you were starting out?
Um, I mean, I think it's like the same thing as always is that casting directors don't really know what they're looking for until you walk into the room and give it to them. So I don't think that's changed really. Um, Whereas like, they put out a breakdown. They don't know specifically what they're looking for. They're really there hoping that when you walk in, you are the solution to their problem. So, I mean, casting directors are definitely on your side. If you've got an audition, it's because they believe that you can book it. And the only person that can prove them wrong is you. So, like, but I also think that like bringing yourself is that magic touch, you
Mm,
know? So I think I mean, I don't think in terms of like character not development, but like working on a character, like hasn't really changed. So I think, yeah, I think it's just like going in there knowing you can absolutely book it, even though, even though they're looking like, for me, let's say they're looking for a 45-year-old woman. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't fit that. Doesn't matter. Go in there. It could be yours. Like, have that mentality because the energy reads in a room.
mm.
So if you walk in there being like, well, thanks for calling me in, I'm never going to book this, but yeah, sure, let's do this. Cool. I mean, that reads. But if you walk in there, like, if you walk in there, yeah, I got this. It's mine. Let's perform. Let's go. Done. Thank you. You're happy. I'm out,
Mm.
without having to linger there or like make small chat. I mean, if you have questions, absolutely ask them. But yeah, keeping the chatter to a minimal, being very professional, very confident. I mean, that's, I think, what casting directors want. And then like they're really rooting for you because they're really trying to fill a role, So if they called you in, it's because they know that like they're maybe seeing guys that are 35. So, and you're there going, oh, well, you're never going to book me. Well, actually, it turns out they booked a younger guy and they were looking for a younger girl,
Mm.
you know? So I think always being positive, open-minded, thinking you can book the role and just, you know, let your personality shine.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun.
There you go. I'll take it. I'll take it. And
Good.
reflecting on your own career, have you adapted to these industry changes? And what advice would you give to, aspiring actors navigating this evolving landscape?
Well, I think we've already covered that because, like, for me, like I said, originally it was like all in-person auditions, and the way it's evolved for me is really getting my self-tape set up, my Zoom setups, like really at a really professional level, and in a product that I'm really proud to submit. So I think, like I said, just getting your self-tape and Zoom setups, you know, have them done, know how to frame yourself, good lighting, good sound, a good reader, and you're good. But these things you need to do because that's where the industry is now.
There you go. Badass. I love it. I love it. And like my last question here going on. I mean, you know what is going to happen. You know this question already. I mean, who knows? But what do you think that could be the best title for this episode
Oh yeah, it's be yourself. That's the motto, is be yourself.
for yourself?
Enough, just be yourself.
Mm.
And I mean, it's kind of like hard to, I understand how people could be like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you mean be yourself? But what if I have to play like a psycho killer? Or what do I have to play like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Your psycho killer can still be like bubbly and funny and and that'll just give it an edge. Or, it's you it actually adds layers to a character. People are going to be like, wait, she's a psychopath, but she's super happy and bubbly. Interesting. Let me keep watching,
Mm.
versus being like that stereotypical, everybody thinks of like a cold serial killer type of character who has no soul, is like just never happy.
Mhm.
And it's like, no, let's actually elevate this. Let me play a psycho let me like you know what I mean? With a psycho killer with my personality. How interesting. How interesting. I'm watching. You got me hooked.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so be yourself. And it doesn't necessarily be like, oh, okay, well, let me forego everything else this character is. No, this character is all these things. You have to portray those things, but add a layer of yourself.
I think that is one of the things, right? That maybe some people might forgot about it, the fact to be yourself, especially if you are, I mean, I think that in general, the fact that you need to just be you, perhaps find a way to put your personality to it. It doesn't have to yeah, it doesn't have to, you don't have to hide it, just be on your own thing, because I mean, I still believe that hiding your personality is not the best way to do it, because it's not you, and people are gonna notice that you are immediately when you are not playing like the real you, because it looks kind of forced going on, you know what I mean? So it's better
Yeah.
just like to put your personality onto everything you can, and from there get the chance to learn new stuff and go forward. So
Yeah, it's important to bring your smartest, most wittiest you to a character, and I do
mm,
feel like the actors that are really memorable are the ones that have those qualities, like Sandra Bullock, like she, her, even if she plays a dramatic role, she'll find spots in the script to bring her quirkiness.
mhm.
And then I think Ryan Reynolds is the best example. Like his type of funny, quirky is so much in all of his films, and it's so much what we love about him. It's like we know who Ryan Reynolds is because because he brings his personality to all these roles. I
There
mean,
you
I
go.
mean, Ryan Gosling to a certain degree too. Ryan Gosling has this quirkiness as well about
Hmm.
him, even like when he plays dramatic roles. So yeah, I think it's a winning strategy.
To just be yourself, basically.
Just be yourself. Don't ignore the work that you have to do, because there's work to do, like you're an actor. There's, circumstances and like, character description and, um and a script, but then add a little bit of you just to give it that special touch to differentiate yourself and to maybe book the role.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, what can I say? You always shine in this interviews we got here. You always shine. You always give your best to it, and it's badass because, well, you give your personality to it. But I do think that those who are either listening to it or watching, they can get the chance to be like, what, if she's doing it, if she's being herself, if she's being all excited about it and making it happen and getting results. I think I just found the win-win formula here. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, there's a lot of hard work that we all know. I mean, that we sometimes tend to not think about it, but it's just the way it is. But the fact that you're showing up and giving your best every day, I mean, that is why I do think that that's epic and that's badass, because I mean, it takes guts, and you're making it happen. So cool.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you. And it's people like you that help me keep going. I mean, I promise you, because I am a very happy and positive person, but this is a really tough industry. Being an artist is tough. I tell my friends, I'm like, you have a 9 to 5, I perform and pray. Like, you know where
Mm,
you're going to be Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I might get an audition on a Monday. I'll spend the whole weekend indoors learning lines and prepping for the audition. I will perform it. You send a tape and you never hear back. I mean, that's my reality. So it's my job is to perform to the best of my ability and pray in between. Because like honestly, and I mean pray, I don't actually like pray, but I mean it's to be hopeful is what I'm
totally.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because or else it's so easy to be like, okay, well, it's been 6 months. I've sent out 10 auditions. I didn't hear back. Hi, I'm depressed. Like, what is my life? What am I
Mm-hmm.
doing? Am I learning lines for fun, for free, for what, So I thank you for giving me that confidence to keep going, because it's not always easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, I have my moments where it's just like I want to throw in the towel. Like, it's happened to me, definitely a few times in my career where I was like, okay, I'm done. We're done with this. Like, how much of myself can I give without having anything in return? But it's my biggest passion, and I don't care. And see, that's the important thing too. It's like, I don't care if I make a lot of money. I just want to live off. And of course, yes, I would love to make a lot of money off my art, but I know it's such a hard industry. I mean, all artists have, a long journey ahead of them. But I think just even staying in the game is a huge plus because it's a tough one.
Totally.
Morally, it's a tough one. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I
It
can
takes
understand that.
God, courage, all of that to keep going, for sure. So, I mean, and we all go through it. I am sure some big time celebrities go through the same thing, where they have an amazing year and then the next year nobody's calling them, and they're literally don't want to get out of their beds because they were like doing 4, 5, 6, 7 film festivals the year before and none this year. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. I think it's just like, yeah, really important to regulate your emotions and just perform and be hopeful, and and then do whatever you got to do on the side to like keep your dream going. I think that's also very important. Like, if you need to have a 9 to 5, do it. If you need to have a part-time job, do it. If you need to like drive, deliver, serve, whatever it is, there's no shame in any of it if it's to keep your dream alive. Like, to me, that is one of the most amazing things.
Just gonna drop the mic now.
In the craft, in yourself, and be exactly like, well, I mean, you're also a very good example of that, of keeping this dream, this skill alive. And sometimes you're probably questioning yourself, like, where is this going? What am I doing here? Am I just doing the same thing over and over? And what is the, you know what? It's the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's the journey. Like, all of it. It's not so much, see, I read this and I put this on Instagram recently. It's, your purpose is not what you do. It's what happens in others when you do what you do. You know what I mean? So purpose is not acting. It's affecting people that are watching me act. It's not about me. It's not about my career. It's about how I can grow empathy within our community. And for you too, it's not so much being a podcaster, interview, whatever. It's more like what you do to actors after you've interviewed them. It's not about what you do, it's what happens to others when you do what you do. So it's like, we're gonna hang up and I'm gonna feel amazing. Like, thank you. I actually really needed this right now. Like, and it's keeping me going. It's maybe gonna make me do an amazing audition by the end of the week because I feel so good about myself. It's maybe that's the one I book, and that, and you don't, because of what you do, because you do what you do. So never give up on what you do. Always believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. Yeah, and keep going.
Best way to finish this. Boom. Epic. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow, but also make sure to go follow Jessica right now. I mean, let's make her viral. # Team Jessica. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining, keep rocking, keep being super badass as you always are. And I'll see you in the next one.
Absolutely.